break this evening, so we can match up your username. But in the meantime, I will just type it in there. Halo Fish Boy. Alrighty. Here we go, folks. This is break 1372, the 2021 Panini Donruss Hobby 1-box break 1372. Some vets, J.K. Dobbins right there getting it started for the veterans. Then we're going to have a little Shaquille Griff, Travis Kelce, a Jarrett Patterson RC. Jarrett Patterson RC to get started. And then we're going to have that no-namer, and that's going to be Mr. Trey Sermon RC of the San Francisco 49ers going to Daniel. That Jarrett Patterson went to Cynthia. We have a Legends series, Peyton Manning of the Indianapolis Colts going to Cynthia, followed by the champ is here, Rob Gronkowski of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, headed to Kenneth. Oh, John, can you get those names loaded? Yeah. Sorry about that, Haley. Those names are getting loaded right now. Getting started with our veterans right there. Little Emmanuel Ogba of the Dolphins. We're going to have Zadarius Smith, a little Tua, followed by a Kellen Mond of the Minnesota Vikings to get things cooking right there. And that is going to be headed to Haley. And then we have a out of 89, a little number, Kadarius Toney, 52 out of 89 of the New York Giants, headed to Cynthia. Then we have the rookies, Javonte Williams of the Denver Broncos going to Chris, and Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins. Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins to wrap things up in that pack. I would love, you asked for it, and it came. We have Prism Football up there. We have that Donruss Optic Hobby Hybrid that's going to go fast, or going to break tonight. But yeah, would love to see it break. Obviously, those more expensive breaks sometimes move a little slower, but would love to see it get moving. DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers of the Packers. We have a Chris Evans of the Cincinnati Bengals going to Cynthia, followed by Terrace Marshall Jr. of the Carolina Panthers, headed to Halo Fish Boy with that portraits. Then we have Michael Thomas Elite Series of the New Orleans Saints, and a highlights DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks. I would love to see that tiered random move as well. Max Crosby of the Raiders, Russell Wilson of the Seahawks, a little Sammy Darnold right there of the Carolina Panthers to get things started with our veterans. Then a little Julio Jones. And we have Chatarius Tutu Atwell of the Los Angeles Rams headed to Christopher. A red press-proof Michael Vick of the Atlanta Falcons. A Dominators Michael Thomas of the Saints. And a little Marshall Falk of the Los Angeles Rams going to Christopher. Melvin Gordon of the Broncos right there to get things started. We're going to have a little Deonta Johnson followed by a little J.C. Horn rated rookie of the Panthers headed to Adam. Followed up by a little Tom Brady out of a career number touchdown pass. And then we have a Gridiron Kings rookies, Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals headed to Cynthia. Followed by a little power formula, Saquon Barkley of the New York Giants to Cynthia as well. And then a retro series, Ozzie Newsome of the Cleveland Browns going to Christopher. Yeah, and I mean, everyone said Josh Allen was a bust after year one. So, yeah, and the Jacksonville Jaguars have an absolute trash team around them. So, like, there's nothing, I don't think there's anything to be concerned about. That little Joe Burrow without the helmet. And then we're going to have a Ramondre Stevenson. Ramondre Stevenson, a rated rookie right there of the New England Patriots, heading to Kenneth. And then welcome to the big show. Out of 500, that is Mr. Justin Fields of the Chicago Bears. And that is going to Haley. Following that up with the rookies, Jacob Harris of the Los Angeles Rams going to Christopher. And then we have a little Hines Ward 2001 throwback right there. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lamar Jackson of the Ravens right there to get things started. Followed by a little Chubba Hubbard of the Carolina Panthers headed to Adam. Followed up by Von Miller of the Broncos without his helmet on. Juju Smith-Schuster of the Steelers. A little portrait Larry Roundtree of the Chargers to Christopher. Followed by a Zeke Elliott Power Formulas of the Cowboys and a retro series Michael Strahan. And then here we go, folks. This is going to be an All-Pro Kings, and it is going to be a Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns, and that is headed to Christopher. Alrighty, and before we get into this, I just want to welcome Kyle and Robert to their first break with BreakTraders. Thanks for joining us. You can use promo code NEWBT for 20% off your first order to get things going with us. Zeke Elliott of the Cowboys, Joe Namath of the Jets, Gregory Rousseau, welcome to the NFL with 2 sacks last week, going to Kyle right there. Followed by a red press-proof Pat Firemouth of the Pittsburgh Steelers headed to Zerk. Then we have a little Dominators, TJ Watt of the Steelers and Michael Vick of the Atlanta Falcons with that 2001 throwback. Olivier Vernon of the Browns right there to get things started. Following that up with Peyton Manning of the Colts, Corey Davis of the Jets. Then we have that little Tommy Tremble, our rated rookie of the Carolina Panthers to Andrew. A Devontae Parker press proof out of 100 of the Miami Dolphins going to Michael. Then we have Mr. Danny Jones with that Elite Series of the New York Giants going to Cynthia. Followed up by a Tom Brady highlights of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to Kenneth. And could Danny Jones have done any more to try to win that game for the Giants last week? What a terrible, terrible drop by Darius Slayton. That offsides call seems like it was bull crap. Like, what an interesting, what a game by Danny Jones. That holding call on his run was absolute garbage, in my opinion. But that is just me. We have that Dez Fitzpatrick of the Tennessee Titans, and that is headed to Cynthia, followed by a Terry McLaurin of the Washington Football Team out of 500. Then we have Pat Firemouth of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the rookies, headed to Zerk, followed up by the 2001 throwback Howie Long of the Raiders. Little Andy Dalton to get things started right there. Then we're gonna have a little Rob Gronkowski of the Bucks, Tom Brady of the Patriots, followed up by Jeremiah Uwasu Kamara of the Cleveland Browns, and that is headed to Christopher. Then we have Adrian Peterson with that all-time Gridiron Kings, followed up by an Elite Series rookies Travis Etienne Jr. of the Jaguars, followed by a Retro Series Drew Bledsoe of the New England Patriots going to Kenneth. And here we go. Here is our auto, and it's going to be out of $2.99. That is Mr. Kenneth Gainwell of the Philadelphia Eagles going to Kevin. Can we have a little bit of Mo Alley Cox in my life? Henry Ruggs of the Raiders. Joe Schobert of the Jags. A little Christian Darrisaw rated a rookie right there of the Minnesota Vikings going to Haley. And then we have a little Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts with that red press proof to Cynthia, followed up by a Nick Bosa Dominators of the San Francisco Giants. Then we have Mr. Troy Aikman with that 2001 throwback of the Dallas Cowboys going to Chris to right there. And now we have 6 packs left. 6 packs left in this break. I feel like Haley's one of the fastest in terms of always on the lookout for new breaks. Brett Favre of the Packers, Alejandro Villanueva of the Steelers. We have a little Greg Newsome of the Cleveland Browns going to Christopher. And then we have the John Elway die cut press proof 4 out of 25 of the Denver Broncos headed to Christopher as well. Cool card right there of Mr. Elway, followed up by a Legend Series Brian Urlacher of the Chicago Bears, and a road to the Super Bowl. That is Robbie Gronkowski of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Urban Meyer does not seem like he's built for the NFL. Great college coach, but I don't think he's like Saban, just not built for the league. And there's nothing wrong with that. Go be the best in the business at the college level. Tyreek Hill with that photo variation. Then we have a little Seth Williams of the Denver Broncos RC heading to Chris, followed by a Dwayne Eskridge portrait rated rookie of the Seattle Seahawks going to Chris as well. A Dominators of the Minnesota Vikings headed to Haley, followed up by a 2001 throwback Mike Vick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Kenneth. Getting started right there. Little Joe Montana, Devontae Adams. Then we're going to have Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Kenneth. Lamar Jackson right, of the Ravens, followed by a Josh Jacobs of the Las Vegas Raiders headed to Cynthia. Then we have the champ is here, Ryan Suckup of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we have 3 packs left in this one. Odell Beckham Jr. of the Browns, Travis Fulgham of the Eagles, Mike Gesicki of the Dolphins, Teddy Bridgewater of the Panthers, followed up by TJ Watt of the Steelers, Emmitt Smith of the Cowboys, a little Shi Smith rated rookie of the Carolina Panthers going to Adam, followed by a red press proof Stephon Gilmore of the New England Patriots to Kenneth. Then we have the Action All-Stars, Minkah Fitzpatrick of the Steelers, and a 2001 throwback Larry Fitzgerald of the Arizona Cardinals. And we have 2 packs left in this one. A little Allen Robinson to get things cooking right there, followed up by Mr. Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, and then a Davis Mills RC. Davis Mills of the Houston Texans going to Cynthia, getting his first start right there. And then a Gridiron Kings, Zach Wilson of the New York Jets. Zach Wilson of the New York Jets headed to Mr. CEO. Followed up by Jalen Waddle, Elite Series rookies of the Miami Dolphins, headed to Michael. And then we have a little Kenny Moore highlights of the Indianapolis Colts going to Cynthia. I have not pulled any marbles yet. Trey White of the Bills, James White of the Patriots, DeForest Buckner of the Colts, Chase Young of the Washington football team, followed up by Khalil Mack of the Bears, Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs, a little Patrick Surtain II of the Denver Broncos going to Chris. And then Mr. CEO, better get ready. It's another out of 500. This one out of 500, Zach Wilson of the New York Jets. Followed up by the rookies, Ramondre Stevenson of the Patriots to Kenneth, and a little Andre Johnson 2001 throwback of the Texans. I have not. All right, let's run this rookie rundown. Ramondre Stevenson of the Patriots, Patrick Surtain of the Broncos, Jalen Waddle of the Dolphins, Davis Mills of the Texans, Shi Smith of the Panthers, Kyle Trask of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a portraits, Drain Eskridge of the Seahawks, Seth Williams of the Broncos, Greg Newsome of the Browns, Christian Darrisaw of the Vikings, the Elite Series rookies, Travis Etienne of the Jaguars, Jeremiah Wasu-Kamara of the Browns, the rookies, Pat Freiermuth of the Steelers, Des Fitzpatrick of the Titans, Tommy Tremblay of the Carolina Panthers, a red fresh proof Pat Freiermuth of the Steelers, Gregory Rousseau of the Buffalo Bills, portrait Larry Roundtree of the Chargers, Chuba Hubbard of the Panthers, Jacob Harris, the rookies of the Rams, Ramondre Stevenson of the Patriots, Jamar Chase, Gridiron Kings of the Bengals, J.C. Horn of the Carolina Panthers, Tutu Atwell of the Rams, the portrait Terrace Marshall Jr., Chris Evans of the Bengals, Javonte Williams of the rookies, Kadarius Toney out of 89 of the New York Giants, Kellen Mond of the Minnesota Vikings, the no-name Trey Sermon, and then Jarrett Patterson of the Washington football teams. And now on to our featured cards. First, we have the John Elway die cut out of 25. 4 out of 25 of the Denver Broncos heading to Christopher. And then we have the Justin Fields out of 500, the Gridiron King, Zach Wilson, and the out of 500, Zach Wilson of the Jets. Zach Wilson of the New York Jets to Mr. CEO, and Justin Fields of the Bears to Haley. And then our last two hits of the evening, we have the All-Pro Kings Myles Garrett, and then the Kenneth Gainwell autograph. Kenneth Gainwell of the Philadelphia Eagles going to be heading to Kevin, with Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns going to Christopher. And there we have it, folks. That is the end of break 1372. We'll be right back with from the hardwood with some Revolution basketball.